My people, we got bullish news stacking up and we got a chart that is saying a certain type of things, but we also got alarming stuff to talk about. We need to talk about BlackRock. They just bought 1 billion worth of BTC this Monday. So this is totally fresh out the gate. We got Spot ETFs flows going parabolic. $50 million worth of ETH bought the last day just alone. Mastercard unlocking stable coin payments. Guys, this is huge. Arizona creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Bitcoin supply shock incoming at an alarming rate. And I gotta give out some warnings about some things that could happen and that could switch the markets very, very fast. So stick with me to the end of this video because you do not want to miss this. Everything is not just peaches and roses. There are danger zones and danger things to watch out for, and I will tell you exactly what it is you gotta look out for. All right, so let's just dive straight into this. And as you guys can see, I have the We Rob Banks hat on me today, the cap. And I can only have that when there's no cap in the market from my side, when I've traded good and giving y'all those good signals. And we've been smashing it lately. We've been actually smashing it. Smashing TP after TP after TP. So some goes to TP1s, some goes for runners. But either way, we are killing it, and it's all in the trading announcement channel in the Telegram. Link is in the description box below. It's all for free, guys. This is free signals, free trade ideas. You can use them as indicators for your own trades and whatnot. But let's get into this. So first and foremost, let's talk about the fundamentals. Let's break them down before we dive into the charts. And remember, I post all fundamentals on our X account. So if you ain't in it, make sure you join it. And also, of course, on our Telegram announcement channel. So first and foremost, $387 million on 21st of April, 936 million on 22nd, 917 on 23rd, 442 on 24th, 380 on the 25th, and yesterday 591. This week has been crazy, a crazy amount of accumulation into spot Bitcoin ETFs, and especially BlackRock, as always, is just killing it. It's just taking over the market and actually taking monopoly on these BTCs. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, it's both good and bad. Bitcoin is the people's money. It's supposed to be decentralized, but slowly and surely these institutions are taking monopoly on it. And I can say that monopoly is not good for the people. The more decentralized it stays, the better it is for us. But right now, for our investment as an investment vehicle, this is very good for us. It pushes the price up, and we have definitely seen that on the charts. All right, but we will get to the charts soon. First, I want to break down all fundamentals. So Bitcoin spot ETFs killing it, and check out this here. BlackRock bought approximately 1 billion worth of Bitcoin on Monday. That was yesterday. That is crazy. They know that something is coming. They are not doing these huge purchases for nothing. I'll say 74K when we hit that bottom was in. I thought we were going to go lower. I was one of those screaming bull trap, but I've definitely flipped bullish. Why? Because of the fundamentals. Guys, the demand is just exploding. Wow, we got a supply shock incoming, and let's talk about that. This is the Bitcoin supply on crypto exchanges, all right? It has never been even close to this low. It is on an alarming rate, decreasing fast, very fast. And what does this mean? So for y'all to understand, supply, demand. Demand is exploding, while in the same time, we got supply disappearing. If there's a lot of people that wants to buy a pizza, but nobody sells that pizza, or there's only one pizza left, or in this case, 21 million pizzas, then who's going to sell it to you? Well, that one that finds a price worthy of selling it for, right? So price will keep increasing and increasing and increasing until somebody actually wants to sell. All right, so we have something crazy incoming. And when this thing finally explodes, because Bitcoin is like that balloon ball you're trying to keep underwater. You can hold it, but as soon as you let go of it and the deeper you push it, the harder the resistance, the more it wants to push up. And when you let go of it, it's going to fly up really hard. And this is what I'm saying right here. So this here, if you're locked in on Bitcoin, and if you think that you're buying high right now, and if you think you're buying expensive, I got news for you. This everything below 100, 120K is super cheap, because the prices you're gonna see is going to be on a different level. If it comes in a month or a couple of months or in a year, 2, 3, we will see. My price prediction for this year is 225K minimum for one BTC. And then the next thing, Mastercard just unlocked stablecoin payments. Guys, this is huge. This is like, I don't even think you understand how huge this is. Over 1 billion people can now use wallets and cards to pay with crypto. The future is here. Adoption is happening in real time. This is exactly what crypto need. This is exactly what Bitcoin need to get to that next level and become mainstream, as we always knew it will. And it's happening at this moment. Don't sleep on crypto. And we know already that nations, institutions are accumulating crypto secretly, openly, whatever it is. Now we got officially, Arizona just made history by passing the Bitcoin Reserve Bill. Trust me, you're gonna see United States FOMO, the FOMO between the states there is happening right now. Nation FOMO is also coming up right now, because nations are starting to look at this like, okay, wait, they are getting crypto, they are getting Bitcoin, UAE, USA, El Salvador, and a lot of other countries are accumulating it. Do we really want to fall behind? Like even Sweden, Miljöpartiet are now arguing for a strategic crypto reserve, a strategic Bitcoin reserve. That is huge, because Sweden is not a crypto friendly country. And we have this sleeping giant that I've been talking about many times. I've been saying that Ethereum is a sleeping giant. And yeah, we see these institutions just keep accumulating it. They keep accumulating it. And every time they accumulate it is in big quantities. So I feel the same thing there. Like the price is suppressed and they know something that we don't know. One thing I do know is that a lot of these institutions are actually building on top of Ethereum, because Ethereum being one of the safest blockchains out there, and they want safety. They prioritize safety before speed, like Solana, for example, or something else. Now, like I said, I have a warning for you guys. That is a specific indicator that you have to watch. It's flying over most people's heads. People are getting bullish right now, and they're already forgetting about what's being talked about heavily for just a couple of weeks, just a week, 2 weeks ago. So I'm gonna bring it up again, but first I want to take the technicals. Let's break them down, and then we get into that. And in the same time, like I wrote in the market analysis that I posted in the community, more and more countries are consulting Binance for building a strategic crypto reserve. This is per report from Binance. I don't think they're bullshitting on this thing here, because it's very obvious now that countries are FOMOing into Bitcoin. So keep your eyes on what's happening with countries announcing that they want to build a strategic crypto reserve. And remember, that's what's being announced. What's going on behind the curtains is a whole different thing, all right? That is where the real action happens. When shit is being announced, that is just buy the rumors, sell the news. Most often, those announcements are there for a reason. Either they want to pump or dump the price or whatever. All right, so like I wrote in that market analysis, I see market right now in a place where we have massive resistance, and that is this XOB. XOB stands for extreme order block. So this here is an extreme order block, all right? That order block stretches from 94,400 all the way up to 96, say 700, just to be conservative. Now, what I think will happen now, what I think is happening right now, is that we will actually get a pullback. Some people think that this was the pullback here, and we're not going to see more than that. I actually don't think so. I think what you see here is a bearish flag forming. Shorts are piling up. So what I see is accumulation, continuous accumulation up here, and then probably a pullback down to this XOB, this extreme order block that we have down here at about 891, all the way down to 90.5K, and then a bounce up from there. We will see if that happens. But it makes sense. It will liquidate all the liquidity trap down here, which is a usual pattern that the BTC loves to do. When that is done, we might come down all the way to 88, even 87K. Of course, we might come down all the way to 60, 70K. But just realistically, right now, for the moment, I see that there's a high probability that we can come all the way down to 87K. But I think we're going to bounce up from 90.5K. And from there, charge towards 100K, of course, retest that. But I think we're going to break straight through and hit the next XOB, the next extreme order block, and that one stretches from 103.7K all the way up to 106.4K. All right. From there, we will see what happens. We take it step by step. Of course, a little pullback, maybe to 100K, maybe to 98, maybe all the way down to 96. And then I think that all-time high is imminent, and I think that all-time high is going to happen very, very soon. I think that we're not talking about months even. It's maybe a couple of weeks tops, but we'll see. We'll see. And it's not just because we got this crazy momentum here. It's because there's so much things piling up. So it feels that BTC's just been waiting for a reason to just pop off. Institutions, whoever has already grabbed what they wanted to grab, and they cannot suppress the price anymore, and they're letting go of that balloon ball that I was talking about, and it's going to pop out of the water fast. And when it happens, everybody's going to FOMO in like crazy. And that is when the real race, the real bull run begins. That's when you see those god green candles. One very important thing that made me flip bullish was down here when NAS actually went down and BTC decoupled and started to go up. And this happened the last bull run also. I remember this vividly because my mentor told me that they have now decoupled. NAS S&P 500 has decoupled from Bitcoin. Bitcoin is breaking up, they are breaking down. This is not usual. Normally BTC follows, at least for a while. And what happened after that? We got the sickest bull run ever. This is happening now again. So I'm expecting something similar. It's not decoupling for nothing. And remember, BTC is extremely liquidity driven, liquidity dependent. It is digital liquidity. So we always have to watch the liquidity chart. And we had the bottom that was this bottom here. This bottom for liquidity was in January, mid-January approximately. And I see it being this bottom that we see right here that we had in beginning of April. All right, about 4 months later. Liquidity has been on a crazy bull run ever since then. BTC has just now, let me actually remove some of these red lines here, disturbing the view. So now I see things better. So BTC has just started this run, and I think that we are tops here, tops. But I don't even think that. I think that we are somewhere down here. So we have a long way to go. And of course, just remember, you will see pullbacks along the way. This will not be a straight line up. So like I said before, we will get pullbacks and then further up, pullbacks, push-ups, and so forth. The main thing that we are waiting for is, of course, the greatest economy in the world, the biggest economy in the world to stop printing money. And that is, of course, the United States of America. And if we remove all these other central banks from this liquidity chart, what you will see is that Fed is lagging behind. Fed has not started to print anything yet and is actually taking away money from the market. It's reducing the liquidity supply in the market right now. So I'm not talking about money reserves like the M2. I'm talking about liquidity circulating in the market. There's a big difference. A lot of people talk about the M2 money supply. That is how much money banks hold and is circulating in the market. Liquidity chart shows how much money is being circulating in the market right now. That is money being spent. And that is what's important when it comes to bull runs and of course for altcoin season. And until this thing here flips bullish, I don't think we will see an altcoin season, even though we have seen a lot of altcoins breaking out. Those are the boomer tokens, of course, that we've been talking about a lot, especially the American ones. But I think that this is just a little quiet start and hint of what's to come. We will probably see some pullbacks now and then another run. And speaking of that, let's talk about altcoins. XRP has been in this bullish channel, descending channel. Call it a flag, a pennant, or whatever you want. Broke out, came back and retested, and it has a long way to go. So just to mitigate all the liquidity that's trapped here, it needs to come to at least, I would say, 2.96. All right, 2.96 is my short-term target for XRP. We will face resistance here at about 2.56, 2.55. Once we break through that, we can proceed further. But then just like Bitcoin, XRP is also forming this little bearish channel here, but this is just short, temporary, not big as this bullish channel that I just spoke on. So I think market might break down. When BTC breaks down, XRP is going to break down, retrace a little bit, come down and test about 2.1 before bouncing further. And we got a very good resistance line here, and we got an order block here that I'm looking at that I think that we will bounce off from. So of course is ripping it like crazy, mega bullish. Congratulations to anybody that took this trade. It's due to some Pokemon rumors and whatnot. I'm not going to dive into it deep because honestly, I'm not very well informed on it. I just hear what's being said in our community. By the way, the community chat is also linked in the description box below. Don't miss out on it. There's a lot of alpha being shared and dropped there. But yeah, Sui is doing very, very good. My target for Sui short term is $12. My long-term target is $50. So this thing has a long way to go. Dot, we've been eating good on this one. We took some crazy pips on the dot pump, and basically we took it from the bottom. I think we hit it at about 3.47 when I called it out. We've been riding it all the way up. So we've been doing a good and nice 24-25% without leverage on it. And dot, like I said before, this one, like I'm starting to take out profits at 13.5, so 13.5 US dollars, but I can see it easily come to $60-$70 on the long term, of course. I've signaled TIE and virtuals many times, and if you took it and if you listen to me, then you are doing really good now, because I signaled it here at the absolute bottom. And we're talking about virtuals now. When it was at 0.43, $0.44, I told you this is the entry zone. Buy it. This is like, it's for free basically now. And you see what's happening now. It's catching up like crazy. And trust me, this is just the start. You're not late to it. It's a good time to DCA to it still. TIE, same story. Had a good pullback now. Actually, I love this pullback. Gives us the opportunity to buy more. You can see that I've written entry. That's my first entry that I took. But I actually bought more on the way down because I entered it in September around here and been riding it 5x up and all the way down. Didn't sell anything on top here. Rode it all the way down, bought more, and now my bag is growing again. So it's a good time. And I'm saying the same thing here. Good time to DCA into it. This is still very cheap. I'm expecting TIE to break $1 in this bull cycle. And virtuals, yeah, you can see the levels here. $7.6 is my top price for this bull cycle. We will of course see when I start to see the signs of this cycle switching. We will see how far or how close we are to these numbers that we're talking about. It's very hard to predict something so far in the future, especially in such unpredictable markets that we have right now. Now, when it comes to the US dollar, it's important to talk about it too, because the lower the US dollar goes, the better it is for Bitcoin, of course. The better it is for crypto in general. It pushes the price up because they are valued in US dollars, all right? So it's good for the market. And right now, the US dollar is at about 99, the Dixie. And I'm expecting it to get a push up very soon, maybe up to all the way up to about 101.5 to retest this pink resistance line, this key level that you see here. But also we have a major order block that it might want to come and retest. But I think that we're going to drop much lower. And it's because countries around the world are actually dumping off US dollar. People, when I say people, I mean banks, governments, they had enough of this US monopoly on the world. And this is also why this thing here is increasing in price all the time. And I'm talking about the US 10-year treasury note. And this is the thing I wanted to warn you about. This is the stuff that I wanted to talk to you about, that you got to keep an eye on, because this here is much higher than Trump wants it to be, and then that anybody in the United States government wants it to be. Why? Because here's the thing. United States is in debt all over its ears, all right? And it can only afford to repay the interest rate. Actually, it cannot even afford that. It borrows money to repay interest on its debt. So its debt is growing. It only pays interest. Now, to borrow that money, that refinance, how do they do that? They do it by issuing bonds. It's like me writing a IOU note to you, and I'm telling you, all right, borrow me 100K, and every year you will get $4.174 on those 100K if you borrow it to me. Now, US 10-year treasury notes used to be as good as dollars. So countries had no problems of holding these. Banks had no problems holding these. Pension funds, hedge funds, and all what that is. But now they dump in it like it's poison. And it's probably because they see the dollar is falling, but I think it's also because of this economic warfare thing. This is the best way for them to strike back on the United States and make the United States crumble. Why do you think that Donald Trump paused those tariffs on all those nations? It was because they were trying to cut the legs on China, and it didn't work. What happened instead? It was the same thing like when they sanctioned Russia in the Ukraine-Russia war. What happened? Russia grew stronger. Russia started to make business in Bitcoin and other countries' currencies and whatnot, which boosted their economy and the countries that they were doing business with. Same thing is happening now. The United States is doing all these tariffs on all these countries. What are the countries doing? They're saying, okay, to hell with the United States, and they start to do business with each other, especially with China, the world's second largest economy. So it really backfired on the United States. That is why they went so quick on pausing it, and claiming it to be something nice that they're doing for the people. And one of the reasons was, of course, China started to mega dump US government bonds, these 10-year treasury notes that I'm talking about. Japan and other countries did the same. And now the United States got a mess to figure out, because they need to get this down. So how do they get this down? They get it, like the plan for Trump was to crash the markets so that everybody starts buying the bonds. Then the bond price decreases. Now Fed has to step in and stimulate the economy to bring the markets back up. And they do that by cutting interest rates and starting QE, of course. All right. Now that didn't happen. It backfired. So they might pull another crazy stunt and try to crash the markets again. And this is what I'm saying. Like, they will try to get this here down, and how they will get it down, I don't know. The easiest way is just to crash the market on purpose. Question is, can they do it? If they can do it, they will do it. So just be aware the market might come down hard one more time. But besides that, I would say everything is mega bullish. The 7th of May, we got the next federal fund rates decision and the next FOMC meeting. That will be a very, very important FOMC meeting. We have advanced GDP by the United States tomorrow, Wednesday. And on Friday, the non-farm employment change. So these numbers tend to move the markets, sometimes a lot, sometimes a little. So just be aware of these news coming out on Wednesday and Thursday. And then on the 7th of May, like I said, the federal fundraise decision and the FOMC meeting that we probably will be streaming live. With this said, my people, hopefully I'll see you at the top, because we want to see this thing keep pumping. And I'm telling you this, if you ain't bullish on crypto, I'm talking about long term, right now, you're sleeping. Your face is under a rock, all right? So just please open your eyes, open your ears, see what's going on, and don't, for God's sake, stop trusting the propaganda machine, because they will just lead you where they want to lead you, and they are not doing it for in your advantage, all right? They're doing it for their own advantage. I don't like to be a doom and gloomer or anything like that, but I'm just telling you as it is, all right? Don't forget to like and subscribe if you got value out of this video. And with that said, I'll see you on the next one, and peace.